According to Dr. J. Stepnack, entrepreneurship is the capacity to take risk, ability to organize, and desire to diversify and make innovations in the enterprise. It is meant for the function of seeing investment and production opportunity, organizing in the enterprise to take new production process, raising capital, arranging supply of raw materials, and various other activities with respect to selecting top managers for a day-to-day operations in enterprise. I, Shaurya, on behalf of the Ladder Podcast channel, welcome you all to this episode in series of interviews. Before we begin the interview, let's have a look at the glimpse of purpose and motto of our podcast channel.
Confusion is inevitable state of mind in all stages of life, be it the education, selection of life partner, or the job. More the options, more is the confusion. Despite being the exceptional military leaders, when it comes to transitioning from boots to suits, we again encounter the same confusion. Which job profile to select, what certification needs to be done, and where do we start are all questions that haunt the mind. We at The Ladder bridge this gap of unknown queries by interviewing veterans who are already well settled after their transition. We bring you their valuable experience and share guidance so that you all are benefited. Following the motto of once a soldier, always a soldier, we're here to fill that gap of mentoring and guidance so that bonhomie of armed forces fraternity remains intact.
Okay, today's panelist is an entrepreneur and alumni of IIT Delhi as well as IIM Lucknow. Lieutenant Commander Manish Katela is a naval veteran with 8 years of Navy experience. Also, he has worked as manager in DRDO for 3 years, and then he founded his own FUBAR company. Good afternoon, sir. I welcome you to the channel, and it gives me an immense pleasure to interview you.
Thank you so much.
Sir, please tell us about your educational background, sir.
So, Shaurya, it goes like this. I completed my BTech from NIT Jaipur in civil engineering, and I did my course in warship design from IIT Delhi. And as a part of my resettlement program, I completed a business management course from IIM Lucknow. So, this is my education background.
Sir, please tell us about how did this idea of finding or raising this FUBAR company coined in your mind?
So I'll start with the background to start this business. Then we'll come towards the brand name FUBAR. So it was in 2018 when I have already made up my mind that I'll be retiring from service in 2021 when I complete my 10 years. Not because of any other reason, but just that I wanted to shift back to Jaipur and stay close to my family. So I was not sure whether I'll be starting something of my own or I'll be doing a job or anything like that. Now, in 2018, my youngest brother was there with me in Kolkata. I was posted in Kolkata that time. So I discussed with him that, presently the e-commerce industry is booming and we can start our own business and let's start from apparels. And I was able to convince him. So, we didn't find it difficult from the point of view of registering any firm or because my wife is a chartered accountant. So we were able to complete all those nuances of GST and other accounting parts. So my brother and my wife were looking after the business there in Kolkata that time, and I was, whenever in my own time I was able to speak to Flipkart or decide on the kind of inventory or the kind of designs we have to purchase. So it started from there, and then suddenly after 6 months, when the business was doing slightly better, I got a call that I have to shift to Visakhapatnam. As you know, in armed forces, we keep changing our locations. So in 2018, I had to shift to Visakhapatnam. So that was the time when my brother decided to shift to Jaipur. This is the beauty of e-commerce that we can do it from anywhere. So he shifted to Jaipur and he kept on building our business. And I and my wife and my another brother Rishabh, we were supporting from back end that dealing with Flipkart, getting the inventory, the payments, the money. So everything we were handling from back end and the other two in Jaipur, they were looking after the business. Now, coming to the brand name, just after 6 months of our business, we we were supposed to decide on the brand name, because if we don't register our brand, then there's no point just doing a business without any brand name. So it's a very catchy name, FUBAR. I picked it from one of the series called as The Last Ship. You'll be amazed. It's a army slang, by the way, but it's a very good word. So that's how I picked the word FUBAR.
So, during the transitioning phase, sir, you were clear in your mind that you are going to be an entrepreneur rather than searching for any job.
Yeah, true. So by 2020 itself, I was sure that okay, now I'll be going for the this startup itself, and will not be going for any other job. Though I had certain job opportunities in Jaipur, and while I was doing my course from IIM Lucknow during the retirement phase, I didn't appear for any of the campus interview because the business was doing good, and now was the time when I had to devote after retirement my full time and energy only into this business. And I knew that where we can go if we tap the right opportunity, because the e-commerce was the thing, is the thing right now, and we know the kind of potential it has. We just have to tap it, and we just have to do the right things at the right time. So I was very clear that we'll be going for the entrepreneurship.
So, as per you, sir, how early you started, and what do you recommend for the viewers who want to be an entrepreneur in the future? How early planning they should do?
See, to be an entrepreneur and to start your own thing, we definitely need a planning. And for people like us who are in the retirement phase from the armed forces, we should plan it well before our retirement, so that during the time when the retirement comes, uh, because that is a time when we think that okay, it's a risk. There's a risk involved in starting your own business. So the risk calculation has to be done accordingly. If you are well settled even before your retirement, or even if you are not well settled, you know that there's a potential in this particular kind of startup. So at least 2 years of planning is required to understand that environment of a new startup, to understand the new startup, and to understand the kind of opportunities that your product has. So if you are able to start it well, maybe 1.5 year or 2 years in advance, then I'm sure you'll be able to take a better decision when your time comes for the time.
Okay, sir. Sir, please tell us about your FUBAR company. Is it a product based, and what all products are available?
It's an apparel brand. We are primarily dealing in men's apparels, though we sell a part of in do a part of our business in women's apparel also. But primarily 95% of our business or of our revenue comes from the men's apparels only. We deal in trousers, shirts, jeans, track pants, active wears, ethnic wear. You name it, we do it. We do almost everything in men's wear category. And we are doing our business only on Flipkart. We are selling online only. We are not doing any offline business. So that's the kind of model we have.
And where all branches you operate in India, sir?
We have our registered warehouses in West Bengal, Karnataka, Telangana, Maharashtra, and Haryana, apart from our own space in Jaipur.
So, how does the initial investment and funding was managed, sir? What were the challenges, and how difficult was it for you to do this?
See, for every startup, the biggest challenge is, the capital. Because I'm sure those who are, working on certain model of a startup, they know the kind of potential it has. Now, they also know the kind of vision after 2 years or 3 years that particular startup will be doing. But do we have enough capital, to reach that particular vision or to reach that particular kind of volume that we are looking at? It's a challenge, but over a period of time, we can definitely overcome it. I'll tell you about my journey. I've been lucky that the people around me or the surrounding of this business has been very good for me. When I started my business, it was my relative who supported me. I was able to source raw materials from them, and there was no problem with respect to the flow of money because they had faith in us, obviously. So we were able to rotate that money from there. When we shifted to Jaipur, we had a challenge because we were in the expansion mode. So again, we discussed our concept here with the existing vendors in Jaipur, and they also liked us and they supported us. And now also we're doing the same thing. I know that our business can do wonders because e-commerce has a huge potential and a huge volume is coming up in the next 4 5 years. Now we discuss again with our suppliers, the raw material suppliers. We told them this is the kind of demand we have right now. We tell them well in advance, before starting, before working with them, so that they know that with whom they are working and what kind of supply they have to maintain. So, see, regarding the finance part, every startup, has the same problem because we know the kind of business that we are going to do with this particular startup. Obviously, we know the potential it has and what it will be doing maybe after 4 5 years. But to reach that volume or to reach that revenue, we need capital. Now, if you already have a capital, it becomes very easy for you because you have already work around the model that what kind of demand it has, what kind of supply it is going to be. But now for people who are bootstrap startups, so you have to think that from where will the funding come. Now we started our own business and we don't have any external funding. I'll tell you how we have done is when we started our venture, we were supported by some of our relatives who were already into the garments line. We were sourcing raw material and the garments from them, and there was no issue with respect to the supply of ready garments and the raw material because obviously they had faith in us. So we were rotating through that. But when we shifted to Jaipur, we spoke to another few more vendors in Jaipur and in Gujarat or maybe in Mumbai. So we were trying to convince them, or we were trying to tell them about the kind of model we are working on, and we told them that this is the kind of demand which is there in this market, and we need that supply. If you are able to supply, then we can connect and we can do business. Now, if you are not able to supply, then we can discuss the kind of demand that is going to be there. The understanding has to be there. If you're supplying something, you have to trust us, and there will be a lead time, whatever it is, as per the contract. So those who agreed and those who understood our idea, they associated them with us. And now also what we are doing, because our volume has increased multifold in the past 1.5 years. So there's a demand which has increased by 4 to 5 times. So what we do is we discuss with our vendors and with our suppliers that this is our demand. This is what I'm going to procure from you. If you are able to supply it, you accept our orders. If you are going to sustain it for maybe a particular period of time, that this is the time and we are going to rotate the money, then we go ahead and do a business with them. So those who understood well, they are with us, and those who didn't, obviously those who don't want to take that kind of risk, we're not working with them. That's the kind of funding we are working with.
Great, sir. Sir, what all external assistance are required when we want to start up a new company in terms of registration, GST you were mentioning earlier? So what all such activities you feel that they are required?
See, for any startup, things which are very critical these days are, I'll not say these days, but it is a mandatory thing. So you need to have a GST. I'm sure everybody knows that. You need to have a bank account. You need to have your own PAN card. You need to have a registered address. Now, the accounting part is very important, very challenging because our system is improving. We are in a new concept of GST, wherein it's a hardly 5 6 year old thing. So every day the new norms are coming. Every day the new taxation schemes are coming. So you need to understand that. Now, thankfully, my wife is a CA, so I don't have to, bother about that because I know whatever she is doing or whatever she is monitoring is going to be perfect. Nobody can fool around with us. So that's a very good part that happened with us. And apart from the accounting and the GST part, another important part of this business is you have to see the kind of manpower that is required. You just have to first figure out that whether that kind of skilled or unskilled manpower is available in that region or not. Then you have to understand the demand from the point of view of the target customers, not from the point of view of us. Sometimes, we as an entrepreneur, what is the biggest mistake we do is I like particular color. So what I do is, okay, if I like this color, this should trend in the market. No, that's not the correct thing. You have to understand the trend that is going on. What or what the public demands. I may be able to afford a shirt which costs maybe 1,000 rupees or 1,500 rupees. So what I'll do is, okay, I'll start manufacturing that thing. But how many people are going to buy it? So if I have to target only the niche customers, then my production has to be accordingly as per that. If I'm targeting the mass customer, then I cannot manufacture a shirt which is costing 1,000 or 1,500 rupees. Then I probably have to go for a 400, 500 or 600 maximum. So that is very important. You have to, decide the kind of people whom you are going to sell and what is their demand, what they are looking up to. And of course, the logistics management, if your business is increasing multifold, then you have to be very, techy, because everything cannot be handled at your end, or everything cannot be handled by people. There has to be technology involved in it. The system has to be there. Wherein, if you are not there or your manager is not there, on your fingertips that what is inventory, what is the outflow, what is the inflow. So that is very important.
Okay, sir. Sir, how important is this core team for any startup, and how did you think about your core team for your company?
Right. See, when you start a business, if you are alone, then you are the only co-team. And if you have partners or you have family, friends, then definitely your core team becomes very strong. Again, my strong point here was that we are three brothers who are, part of this core team, apart from my financial advisor who happens to be my wife. So, core team is definitely very important, that you cannot focus on, raw material, then manufacturing also, then dispatching, the logistics, the operations, the marketing, the new trends, everything you cannot do. You need a core team, which is very important. You need to divide your work. That, okay, this is my part. I'll be looking after, these 2 or 3 portfolios. Somebody will look after the finance part. Somebody look after the trend part. Somebody look after the marketing. So you have to divide your work. Core team is very, very important to have any startup. Otherwise, you will be like any other, I'll not say entrepreneur, I'll say any other kiranawala or any other, a shopkeeper who goes to a shop every day and lifts a shutter, and whenever he's present, he's selling. If he's not there, he's not able to make any business out of it. There has to be a system in place.
And what are roles you share in your company, sir, as a founder?
Like I said, after almost all the segments, that is very important for me, because if I'll not look after all the segments, then I'll not come to know that what kind of nuances in that particular segment is, or what kind of infrastructure is required to build that particular team or that core team. So I have touched upon all the segments. Presently, my major role is with respect to expansion, dealing with the our platform like Flipkart leadership, and the procurement of the items. That is the thing which I look after right now. And of course, the business planning and the expansion.
This business offers franchisee models if somebody wants to take it.
Uh, we have given a thought to it, that we'll start, working with other people also. Like now that FUBAR is a well-established brand on e-commerce, we want to expand into other verticals also. I'm just sharing a plan with you. We thought that we'll be starting in footwear also, we'll be starting in luggage also. But there's, now the team has to expand, so we can't do everything on our own. So we are thinking on those lines, and we are open for franchisee definitely, but we'll just have to see how the working has to happen for that. So we are definitely thinking on those lines.
Okay, sir. Sir, how difficult it was initially for you to convince your brand and about the company?
Right, right. Okay. So I'll first touch upon the family side. It was definitely not easy for me to convince my family, my wife, when I was, about to leave service. Nobody was convinced that you should be leaving service and, whether coming to Jaipur or starting your own business, because I was well settled, and we were doing good there. But then it was a single-sided decision. Sometimes you have to go against everybody. I'm not saying that you should do it every time, but then I was very sure that I have to come back to Jaipur, and since we were already doing a decent business, So I had to expand it. And I knew that this is the time and this is the right time to expand our business. And I already had the vision where we can take our brand to. Now, coming to the market part, it is definitely not easy. We were definitely late in the e-commerce industry. People who started in 2011, 12, they are swinging. They are doing very great right now. Those who sustained, those who understood the nuances of this e-commerce industry. So, but as we always say, it's never too late. We stood firm against all our competitors. We are competing with the alpha brands. When I say alpha brands, there are these are the brands which are well established. We are competing with them. And if I have to share the numbers with you, we are number two on the entire Flipkart platform when we talk about the bottom wears category, that is the trousers category. So that's the kind of competition we have given to our competitors.
That's an amazing achievement, sir. So tell us about importance of the networking for any startup.
See, for any startup or for anything, I believe networking is very, very important. It's the networking which works for you. It's the people who go around and come back. So I got an opportunity to do a good networking when I was in IIM Lucknow, and obviously being from the armed forces, we always have a very good networking capabilities, and we gel well with people because this quality of adaptability is already engraved in us. We meet so many people. We meet, people from different culture, different places. We go around, almost we cover the entire country during our whether sub courses, or our various appointments. So this has helped us, and as I said, that it's very important, and it has definitely helped us in our business also.
So do you really think that doing MBA will be helpful for a startup or an entrepreneur?
Um, it's my personal view. Uh, See, doing any course is a value addition. Whether you may be able to use it or apply it in your business or your kind of startup or not, it's a different thing. I did a course from IIM Lucknow. I was not very, I'll share my experience. I was not very willing to do that course from IIM Lucknow that time because, I was so eager that I just wanted to retire on 3rd of July and join my business on 4th of July. But my mentors, then in Navy, my boss, they told me, yeah, you can do business. You have your entire life. You just go for this opportunity. You just do this course. This will definitely help you. And now my thought process has completely changed. Any course is very helpful. I went to IIM Lucknow. I did my course for 6 months. I joined my business in September. But till date, the kind of contacts I have made in Lucknow, the kind of things or kind of marketing things, or maybe the other operational things which I have learned during my course is definitely very helpful for me in my business.
So what were the major administration and HR issues that you faced in during your initial days, and you feel that one has to be prepared if they want to do their entrepreneurship?
Uh, One thing which is a challenge for every business, I think, is the manpower. The iteration rate which is there in the industry right now is very high. It is very difficult for people to be satisfied and justify that what they are doing is right. Now, when you are a startup, you don't employ people, who are very, uh, what do you say, what technically very sound because you don't have that much of, money in hand right now. But when they learn, they also seek, more salary. Now, how you have to convince them and retain them is very important. Otherwise, there are opportunities for them. They can go and join anywhere. Now, what we did to address this issue of manpower is that we tried to convince them and try to give them the ownership of this business. When they feel attached to the thing that you have started, then they'll not ask for the money. They'll know, they'll associate. Okay, it's a startup, and we also own a part of it. So that was one of the challenge we have also faced in the initial 1.5 year But then we learned that how we have to get rid of it, how we have to retain our staff, because when you train them, na, and when they go away from you, you find it very difficult to again employ somebody and then train him again and then he start working for you. So this is the biggest administrative challenge we have faced. Apart from that, the logistics is again a very challenging thing, because when you increase your volume, your because I'll share my example again. I know that there is a demand which exists in the market right now, which is demanding maybe 1,000 crores today. If I have a supply chain who can pump 1,000 crores of units to me, I can do a business of 1,000 crore, that is for sure. But I know my limitation. My limitation is logistics right now. So if you are able to sort out your logistics properly and your manpower totally, then I think your admin issues are well taken care of. And obviously, you need to have a good accounting in place so that you don't face issues, the legal issues from the government side.
Okay, sir. Sir, what were the key lessons of your naval experience, which you find that they were very useful in this your journey of entrepreneurship?
I think my entire journey, I owe it to Indian Navy only. This business today that we are doing, I think the entire value addition comes from my background of being from the armed forces. You name it, matlab, whether it is my risk-taking ability, or it's handling the operations, handling the manpower, the vision, the planning for your vision. Everything I think has is part of my 10 years journey in Indian Navy. Because when we are there in service, we handle manpower, so it becomes very easy for us when we start our own venture. Now, coming to the project handling, the kind of projects that we handle during our service tenure, maybe we are handling a part of it, but that also amounts to a huge volume. So the importance of the project and how you have to execute everything with respect to that project. You are a better planner than anyone else, because we do minute to minute planning for everything, and uh, everything falls in place when you do such kind of planning. And the first thing that I mentioned was the risk-taking ability to start up, to work with a startup or to have your own startup. It need to have that risk-taking ability in you, and it is inherent in you when you are a part of armed forces. So, as I said, I owe this business to my journey of 10 years in Indian Navy, and I think every quality you say it, or everything that is required to have your own business is there in any single person who has been a part of armed forces.
Okay, sir. Sir, any last word of advice for the transitioning officers as well as the officers who are willing to start their own company oblique entrepreneurship?
I'll touch both the parts here. Whether you want to have your own, model or your own startup, or you want to step into the corporate side, there are ample opportunities for both the things. There are a lot of ideas floating around. You just need to tap the one which you feel you can execute and you can, run it. Uh, every startup will do well if manage, if you are able to manage your, as I said, the marketing part, your operations part, your planning part, and we all are good at it. So you just need to tap the best idea. And there are certain people who fear that whether there are opportunities for jobs or not. There are ample opportunities. We are better than anyone else when we step out from the military to the corporate world. We are a better planner, as I said. When we are in forces, we believe in finishing the things, and we are a better finisher. I've discussed with many of my colleagues who are working in corporate right now, who are working with MNCs or the big fours. What they say is, yeah, the kind of work that we have done in armed forces and the kind of work or the kind of projects that we are handling here outside in the MNCs, it's very easy. It becomes very easy for them to handle such kind of projects because there's not much pressure outside. The timelines are stringent, definitely, but the resources are available. So, with your experience, you will be able to do well. And now the corporate has also realized this thing. That is why they are also focusing on recruiting the people who are from armed forces. So, I don't think there is any fear of when we step outside or step out from our armed forces. That
thank you so much for your valuable insights, sir. I am sure all the viewers who want to pursue their career as well as the entrepreneurship chance will be definitely benefited out of this. And I reach
Yeah.
out to the audience that they must go through the FUBAR catalog, and they have various amazing products at a very reasonable rate. So it was a nice interacting with you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Same here.